Hey everybody, it's Ginger on Wheels here again. Thanks for stopping by the channel, where we get to review and unbox the latest electrically wheeled gadgets. As you may or may not know, I'm in the midst of recording full reviews for the Highboy S2 Pro scooter, as well as the eMove Cruiser from Voro Motors. And I was out filming the other day when it dawned on me. It's freezing cold, at least around here. It's starting to get dark sooner and it's starting to rain. And these just generally aren't ideal conditions for scootering or unicycling, right? Wrong. I would have argued the same thing until recently, but thanks to Amazon Prime Day, which got me started down a deep rabbit hole of spending money that I don't have, I recently upgraded my gear and it turns out that that was the problem. So today I want to go over some of the cool gear that I've got, as well as some tech upgrades you could consider for your gear to make your riding experience that much more safe and comfortable during the winter riding months. So let's roll the intro and I'll tell you more about it. All right, so we'll start with footwear, from worst to best. This is an example of a piece of footwear that you should never use on a scooter or unicycle. If you crash, this is gonna fall off, your feet's gonna get scraped, broken toes, it's not gonna be pretty. So that's trash. Slight upgrade from that, we've just got really basic, super flexible tennis shoes with a mesh top, absolutely no toe support, very little ankle support. You could use these on like a Lime scooter or something, but again, if you crash, you're probably still gonna hurt your feet. So not ideal. Not waterproof, not weatherproof, not warm. Now here's a slightly warmer shoe. It does have a mesh top, so it's gonna be a little colder. It's water resistant. The front is a little bit harder. They're harder to flex this way. It's got a taller back there, so nice Achilles coverage, but still not the best shoe you could wear, especially during winter. So these might be good summer riding shoes for slower scooters. Here's some shoes I've got. These are my standard Ginger on Wheels shoes. They're on my logo, I think. But they're suede leather. They have a reinforced toe, heel area. It comes up in the back here. They're easy to get on and off. And I've put some spray on them so it makes them water resistant, but not waterproof. And they do keep my feet nice and warm, I think just due to the fact that they're leather. But I really like these shoes. Okay, now we're getting into the big boy category. These are official motorcycle shoes. They have a, not steel, but definitely reinforced toe. You can't squeeze it. They're really hard soles. I can't bend the toe. The heel is reinforced as well. It's got really nice ankle coverage. Not sure why it comes down in the back here. You could still do some damage to your Achilles if you really were trying. The grip on the bottom isn't the best for riding on scooters or unicycles. It's kind of smooth. These are tailored towards motorcycles, but they are windproof and waterproof. So good shoes for riding during the winter, but still not the best. So I do feel like this should sort of go without saying, but if you're riding around in the wintertime and your feet are cold and you can't really afford to upgrade your shoes, or your shoes are fully upgraded out and your feet are still cold, get yourself a nice pair of socks. These are Carhartt. I think they're merino wool. They've got padded bottom portions to them. They're extremely warm. And even if you don't get these exact ones, just make sure you get some nice thick socks. When you get into the winter months, you need something like this. This is an official big ol' working boot made by Caterpillar. They have steel reinforced toes and heel. The grip on the bottom is great. They have a really thick sole. They don't bend easily. And my favorite part about them is the ankle support. It comes up really high. And when you're riding a unicycle or a scooter, you can kind of bend into these like you do with snowboard or ski boots to keep yourself more stable. They're completely waterproof and windproof, and when combined with a good pair of socks, these things are pretty much indestructible. So if you're looking for some boots for winter riding, these things are great. I did try an embarrassing amount of boots before I found some that I liked. Probably like 10 pairs on Amazon and Fred Meyer and Revzilla and Dick's Sporting Goods, Sports Authority, like everywhere. I think I went everywhere, but I came across these boots and settled on these. So if you're interested, I'll put a link in the description, but highly recommend some nice work boots at the very least for winter riding, but do make sure they're waterproof. Okay, moving on to pants. As you can see here, we have got some snowboarding pants. Now these things are completely waterproof and they're pretty warm, but they don't have any sort of protection in them. So if you crash, you're gonna get really hurt. You're still gonna have to wear your knee guards underneath these, and that isn't ideal. It's not the most comfortable, but they do work great in winter months. So if you have a pair of snowboarding pants, just go ahead and throw those on. You can wear some long johns or jeans underneath even. but believe it or not, it does get better from here. So these fine specimens I picked up on Amazon Prime Day, and these are motorcycle pants. They have reinforced knees. They have little removable pads that you can take in and out. They have removable pads for the hips, and they're completely waterproof and windproof. They have cinches, like you can Velcro strap and button the bottom areas and the middle area, and then there's two other ones on the hips, and you can cinch them down real tight to your legs so that they don't go flapping around in the wind and throw you off balance. They've got easy to access Velcro pockets, which you can get into with your gloves on, and they're cheap. They're actually cheaper than the snowboarding pants. I was really surprised when I found these, but again, I tried like probably 5 pairs of motorcycle pants before I found these ones. If you're interested, I'll link them in the description too. For now, these are definitely my go-to winter pants. I really like these things. So this is a winter snowboarding type jacket that I got from Columbia. It's also the jacket that's in my logo. And I crashed on this thing, wearing this thing recently with the Sherman, and pretty much destroyed it, which is a good testament to how you shouldn't wear this while riding if you're gonna be going super fast. You can see I shredded it all up here. It's got tears in the back, but at the end of the day, it did protect me more than just a regular little coat would have, or, you know, God forbid, a t-shirt. It's waterproof and windproof, but again, not ideal for winter riding months. Now this bad boy right here, this is a motorcycle jacket, and again, I got this on Amazon Prime Day. It matches the pants that I got too, made by the same company. And I love this thing. I've definitely fallen in love with it. It's got elbow pads, which again are removable. It's got a big back pad too, and I think it has shoulder pads. It has little vents that you can open up for air vents. They're like zippers on the side that are covered in mesh, and it's got the cinching ability too. You can grab these little Velcro straps and pull them and tighten the jacket around your waist so that no air can get in the bottom. One of my favorite things about it though is that it zips up really high, and it's got this Velcro collar piece, so you can, like, between this and cinching up the bottoms, you can completely keep all the air out. And it's not the warmest, but it is waterproof and windproof as well. Even when it's zipped closed, there's still a tiny bit of air that leaks through there, and if it's cold enough, it gets annoying. So you might be wondering what you can do about that. Well, I've got just the thing. So if it's cold enough and that motorcycle jacket isn't cutting it, I've got this thing. It's a heated vest. It's really thick. It's nice, soft on the inside. But the best part about it is it has a separate pocket on the inside for a 10,000 milliamp battery. You hold these buttons here, and you can see that they start to glow. Red means it's on the hottest setting. White is low and blue is medium. And you hold them again to turn it off, but it's got heater coils that run down the length of the vest in the front and the back. So there's also one in the neck, but if it's like 30 degrees or colder and it's not icy out, you know, nice and dry, you're still riding around, or if it's just, you feel like being nice and toasty, even if it's like 50 or 40, this thing is sweet. Wearing this underneath, you can remove the inner liner of the motorcycle jacket and then just wear this instead. And it's so warm. It's great. Absolutely love it. So here we've got 2 examples of helmets. One of them is my summer riding helmet. That's the Bell Super Air R. And it's got a bunch of holes in the sides to allow for airflow. Obviously not ideal for winter. Over here is the Valiant Ls2 helmet. It's a motorcycle helmet, and it's much warmer. Matches the coat and pants as well. One of my favorite parts about this helmet, though by far, is the fact that it's modular. You can push a little tab on the bottom here, and the helmet will fold back like this, all the way back to here. So it becomes a modular helmet. You can like still eat and drink snacks while you're on the run, or it's easier to talk to people. But when you get up to speed, or if you just get freezing cold, slap that bad boy down and you're fully protected. It's got a visor. It also has a little slide here on the side of the helmet. You slide this back, and then there's a sunscreen that comes down the front. This, for now, combined with the motorcycle jacket and pants, are definitely my ideal riding gear. That leaves us with hands though. Okay, so before you hear, you can see my arsenal of hand and wrist protection and gloves. This is going again from least effective to most effective, but let's cover what they are. Now on the far left here, we have the eWheels wrist guards. And these things really aren't bad for summer riding. They've got just plastic wrist protection on the bottom. They strap over the top of your hands and they're done. But for winter riding, I would kind of rule these out. Next up, we have got the 𝐃𝐄𝐃 hired hands. These things have a reinforced metal piece on the top and the bottom, a nice little Velcro strap to strap them to your wrist. Your thumb pokes out the hole, but as you can see, your fingers just pop out and they've got no protection at all against the wind or the elements, so definitely not ideal. I would also classify these as summer riding gear. Coming down the line, these are also 𝐃𝐄𝐃 hired hands, except they're full leather and they're fingerless gloves, so you can still use your touch screens and stuff, and they keep the rest of your hand warm enough that unless you're super bothered by just your fingertips being cold, I would classify these as a winter riding option. I wear these on my 𝐸𝐄𝐃 even when it gets down to like 45 degrees. And with the 𝐸𝐄𝐃, you can kind of ride with your hands behind your back, which is warmer. But when it gets really cold, you definitely need some other options. This is a motorcycle glove. I think it's full leather except for the fingertips here. But I've crashed with these a few times and they haven't ripped. They do a really good job of keeping your hands warm even though they've got the ventilation. As long as you're not going over like 35 miles an hour and it's not, 45 degrees, these are definitely a good option for winter riding. Got a little Velcro piece here to strap it onto your wrist, slide on and off. They don't have touchscreen ability though, so that's one downside. The next option, and something I discovered last year, these things are freaking sweet. These are heated gloves. You can just hold the button on the top here and the gloves turn on. And they've got heater coils, just like the vest, that runs through the palms and the fingers. And there's a little zipper compartment here for the battery. It's rechargeable. You can cinch it around your hand to keep the air out. I do imagine they would rip though if you crashed, but if you're just low speed cruising and it's freezing cold out, these are a great option. Now, if you're like a high speed, super extreme rider, you've got two options. One, and this really only works if you don't have super big hands, so I'm kind of rules me out, but you can get a pair of leather gloves or welding gloves from Home Depot or the like, and you can actually strap these eWheels wrist guards over those gloves. So that way you have, winter wind protection, and if you crash, you're not gonna break your wrist. But if it's super duper cold, you can get your heated gloves if you have a pair, and then get a pair of the eWheels or similar wrist guards, and you can just strap them over the top of that. So like I said, my hands are too big to do that. Even the XL wrist guards from eWheels won't strap around these. But I'm still looking into getting like a different version or bigger ones of these, because I really would like to have something to strap around these gloves, and then that would be like the ultimate winter riding protection in my book. So yeah, likely if you see me riding around in the wintertime, I'm gonna be wearing these, or if I'm on a unicycle and it's not freezing cold, I'm gonna be wearing these. And again, I'll link all these in the description so you don't have to go asking me in the comments which one's which. So this is another piece of gear that I got recently. It's a backpack, and it's got a hardened plastic shell on the back. It's not like completely hard where you could break it. It's got a little bit of flex to it. And as you can see, I put some red reflective tape on the back. But I really like this thing. I like the fact that it's hardened and I can carry my whole camera setup with my gimbal and everything inside the backpack without having to take it all apart. It's also got some cool pockets in the side for snacks, and it's got water bottle pockets also. But these are actually, you can access these while you're riding, so you don't have to take the backpack off. It's got a little area where I can clip off my Bluetooth speaker there. So that's a plus in my book. But one of the coolest things is that it has a pocket on the inside for you to put your own portable battery, and you plug it into the backpack. And then if you have your phone or your GoPro or whatever, and you need to plug it in while you're riding, you can just plug it into the side of the backpack, so you don't have to take your stuff all apart every time you need something. But I just thought I'd throw that in there. It doesn't really have to do with winter riding per se, but it's sort of like my poor man's bobbly backpack. I really like this backpack. I thought I'd just throw it in there. So all this having been said, if you see me riding around in the winter months, this is what I'll be wearing. My Valiant Ls2 motorcycle helmet, the 𝐻𝐄𝐃 motorcycle jacket, and if it's cold enough, that heated vest underneath. Definitely the heated gloves, but for pants, I definitely just stick with the motorcycle pants. I don't even have to wear anything underneath these. They've got the knee protectors built in and everything, so don't have to wear the knee pads, but it's obviously not as good as wearing the 𝐸𝐴Ts. And then my big motorcycle boots. I've found that when I crash, at least on unicycles, the thing that gets messed up on me the most is the feet and the elbows. So these things have got elbows built in. My feet are completely secure, and all this is wind and waterproof. But for the last few nights I've been out riding, this is what I've been wearing. I've been really warm and comfortable, And I feel like if I crash, I'll be pretty well protected. This is like really heavy canvas material on the jacket and pants, so if I crash, I don't even see it ripping that easily. But the gloves might be a different story. Like I said, if you're really worried about your hands and wrists, definitely get a pair of leather gloves from a hardware store and go ahead and grab yourself a pair of the eWheels wrist guards and throw those over the top and you'll be all set. It's important to note though that these things, or pretty much any of the stuff that I have with fingers, isn't touchscreen enabled. So they do make a little fabric that you can buy and you can sew it into the fingers that makes it touchscreen able, but I don't really bust out my phone that much when I'm riding anyways. But if that's a concern to you, you can always do that. Hopefully this got you thinking about what gear you wear and maybe consider an upgrade for yourself. It's about that time, right?